to remind me. Wanna put it all behind me, baby.
We are going to watch that. That was stunning. Wow. Wow. Kia ora and welcome. My name is ZoeStibi, your vocal coach for today. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at Billie Eilish with Wildflower. Let's see what she's up to with her vocal technique. Before I get to Billie, I just wanted to let you know that my online singing school, the Vocal Academy, is open. Yay! So check out the link in the description below for more information. If you want to sing with more stability, more confidence, and more power, then the Vocal Academy is for you. And you're going to get live feedback from me on your singing so that you can, progress faster and that you can reach your vocal goals. But, let's get back to Billie.
Things fall apart and time breaks your heart. I wasn't there, but I know she was your girl. You showed her the world, but fell out of love and you both let go. She was crying on my shoulder. All I could do was hold her. Only made us closer until July. Now I know that you love me. You don't need to remind me. I should put it all behind me, shouldn't I?
Does she not just have the most wonderful vocal color? Oh, let's watch all of that again. You feel it, every lyric. You feel like you're there with her. Very, very low volume. You can even hear the little breath in there. I love that Billie uses her breath as almost like a punctuation going into the next line. And we don't need to worry so much about breath. I know a lot of people go like, oh, I've got terrible breath control. It's mostly to do though with how often you're breathing in and actually the amount of air that you're letting out of your vocal folds. So you hear this slightly falsetto-y sound, and there's not actually as much breath coming through as you think because the microphone is going to accentuate that breath. Let's just go back to the beginning of that because I feel like, oh.
Things fall apart and time breaks your heart. I wasn't there, but I know she was your girl. You showed her the world, but fell out of love and you both let go.
So this is just so wonderful. It says, I was your girl. And she's allowing that vibrato she's letting go of it a little bit to go, girl, to let it wobble almost a little bit. And she didn't work. Vibrato's a funny one. Vibrato's a really funny one, as there's so many different opinions out there on the interwebs. But basically, in my studio, I teach people how to sing with vibrato through finding better vocal fold contact so that we can allow the undulation of the vocal fold closing. Like when you're throwing a pebble into water, it ripples outwards. When you've got that vocal fold closure going on, that swinging of the vocal folds is going to then like shake your larynx. So if I compose, so that's an extreme version of it. You can see my actual larynx is shaking. I am, though, not shaking my larynx, if that makes sense. I am using good vocal fold closure, and I am then maintaining the tension in the muscles surrounding the larynx to wobble more or less. Let's just go back. I love that she's really close to the microphone. You feel like, girl, a little bit of slack vocal folds coming in there. We'll talk about that.
You showed her the world, but fell out of love and you both let go. She was crying on my shoulder. All I could do was hold her. Only made us closer until July. Now I know that you love me. You don't need to remind me. I should put it all behind me, shouldn't I?
Before we get to the chorus, I know it's going to be, but I... Now, Billie does do that quite a lot. A lot of singers do that, using the offset of the tone to also bring in that emotion. Should have put it all behind me. And doing that, going out. Notice, though, that the chest doesn't sink in.
You don't need to remind me. I should put it all behind me, shouldn't I? But I
should be behind me. Should I? So she's not letting the chest sink in. When we're like this and we're slouched forward, you are actually already pushing quite a lot of air out of the lungs, or you're not able to inflate them as much as we want to in order to take on more breath. And she's also taking very short, sharp, kind of high breaths the whole time, which is also an important part of pop singing, that we're taking these mini, mini breaths in. It's going to make sure that we're not taking on loads of air, because then we would have too much breath in the sound. Let's go into this chorus.
It all behind me, shouldn't I? But I see her in the back of my mind all the time, like a fever, like I'm burning alive, like a sign that I crossed the line.
Isn't she just a wonderful vocalist, and like the finesse that she's showing with her vocal line? There's just so much going into this, and just so many changes going on. And we know through interviews that we have seen of her that she does put a lot of thought into the color of her voice, and she has a lot of ability to manipulate the sound. You really notice there's, you can see it in her body language, that she goes into more of a sung sound. So we see that with that should have put it all behind me. We're really noticing in the body language and in the facial expressions, she's going to more of that cry sound. And when we add in more of that cry, what we're doing there is we're tilting the larynx forward. That cry is just going to allow us to thin out the vocal folds enough so that it sounds really sung, but at the same time, it's not going like with a whole bunch of air, or even with a whole bunch of sound, which we don't want so early in the song. But let's just go back on this, because you just really see it in her face. And it's what I love about Billie Eilish. She really is so emotive with her singing.
I should put it all behind me, shouldn't I? But I see her in the back of my mind all the time, like a fever, like I'm burning alive, like a sign that I crossed the line.
Oh, you can really feel it. Did I cross the line? And using that bit of the breath coming through there, and a little bit of that cry or that creak as well at the same time. So what on earth do all these words mean? That, we call it creak, we call it a little bit of slack vocal folds of that coming in there. It's actually a really nice sound to kind of create. I always tell my students, like, they're auditioning for The Walking Dead. It's not a relaxed sound, but it's the slowest movement that vocal folds can make, and it's really important when we're talking about any type of pop singing. It's that oh baby, baby, how was I? That typical Britney sound. Away from Britney. The most important thing, though, when we're talking about it, you see that as well, she comes right close to the microphone. The volumes come right out of that sound.
Don't last. Life moves so fast. I'd never ask who is better, 'cause she couldn't be more different from me. Happy and free
And we have to stop there because I feel like we're not gonna, I'm just like amazed by these backing vocalists. Wonderful. What a beautiful mix that they've got going on there. And you can see as well that they're really focusing on their sound a little bit further away from the microphones so that we're getting a little bit more of that kind of that room sound coming in, and it's not quite so present because Billie is a lot closer to the microphone than they are. And that's again a little bit of tempering the sound yourself as a singer, but we do know that they've got like the best engineers ever sitting in the background mixing this session. But as a singer, you still have to put in the right levels into the microphone. So when she's going into the second verse, you see that the energy increases. She takes the microphone away from the stand. And that kind of like, you get this feeling of like, I'm in business right now. And it's giving her as well the opportunity to temper, as we just said, with the backing vocalist, to temper that kind of, that's the volume of the sound.
Did I cross the line? Good things don't last. Life moves so fast. I'd never ask who is better. She couldn't be more different from me. Happy and free and with her. And I know that she loves me.
We can see there as well, there's a don't need to remind, I know that she loves me. Getting a couple more riffs and runs coming in here. That's an excellent way for us to, again, build the energy in the song without necessarily getting louder. It's a way that we're layering on these ornamentations, and that's what they are. They're an ornamentation. She's also adding, I feel like, a little bit more. It's still quiet, but she's adding don't need to remind me. A little bit more of like almost a pressing of the vocal folds to get a sort of like a more strained kind of sound without increasing the volume. Again, another way that we can, without just simply blowing a gasket, that we can add in interest to the song.
And I know that you love me. You don't need to remind me. Wanna put it all behind me. Baby, I see her in the back of my mind all the time. Feels like a fever, like I'm burning alive, like a sun. Did I cross the line? Every time you touch me, Valentine's Day, crying in the hotel. We didn't mean to hurt me, so I kept it to myself.
Oh my goodness. We are going to watch that. That was stunning. Wow. Wow. There was so much going on. We have, like, I mean, obviously Phineas is singing backing vocals as well. We've got 4 backing vocalists. You know how wonderful that is? Like, how amazing that is to have so many people singing on stage. I love it. We've got this build in the sound. There's also a build in the urgency from the instruments. Well, there's more coming in from the drums. There's more volume coming in overall. And that is kind of like almost like this wave kind of feeling building up to this bridge section. Let's just watch that again, because we notice just in this last section when she was going, whatever she was singing, she's taken the microphone very far away, and that's because high notes sound automatically louder to us. So use the microphone, take it further away if you want the sound to be quieter, bring it closer together, closer to your mouth if you want it to be louder. But she obviously wanted it like a little bit more floaty, and full head voice sound there. There's no breath coming through there though, and you can notice that the tongue is very far forward, and that which is really important when we are going higher in the range. So if you do want to learn more about the tongue position and how that can help you with your singing, then check out the link in the description below for my free singing lesson all about the tongue. It is so important, and honestly, it'll just help you if you want to sing higher and or louder. Let's watch this whole section again, because it's just like this, just builds so beautiful.
In the back of my mind all the time. Feels like a fever, like I'm burning alive, like a sun. Did I cross the line?
So when she goes, did I cross the line? And she's looking right up at the ceiling there. I know what a lot of singers, I know what a lot of you can be thinking is like, do I need to do that when I'm singing high? You don't have to. You don't have to. We don't know if she feels like she needs to do that with her technique, or that she's doing that, or if she's doing that from more of a kind of a performance view, right? But when you do look up at the ceiling, what we are doing is it's much, much easier for us to stay in a thicker vocal fold sound. So it's, I cross the line. It's, to be honest, that's what I do with my singers when they are struggling with that higher part of their range. It can't go above the passaggio though. We don't want it. It's like, that is not high for Billie. So it needs to be in that lower part of the range. But if we're still wanting that cry sort of chest voice sound, looking up at the ceiling can really help to stop the larynx from tipping forward for that voice quality. But as I said, we don't know if she's doing it on purpose because of her technique, or if it's just coming from like, I feel like she's really in the middle of emoting, and it kind of like just, it's like this, all part of the performance kind of aspect of these things as well. So well, but every time you touch me, I just wonder how she felt. Valentine's Day, crying in a hotel. I know you didn't mean to hurt me, so I kept it to myself. You say no one knows you so well, but every time you touch me, I just wonder how she felt. Valentine's Day, crying in the hotel. I know you didn't mean to hurt me, so I kept it to myself. Wow. Wow. Whew. That is so stunning. Holy mackerel. Like, what an absolute beautiful performance. And at the end there with the canon, wow. Oof. One of the singers, can't really figure out who it was. If we just go back to the still. Look, if I'm really honest, I really dislike these things where they don't put on who is in the performance, right? Like, these fabulous backing vocalists are three amazing singers in their own right. The blonde with the curly hair, she is singing the bass line, so she's the lowest female voice. the middle singer with the blonde hair, she is the one that sounds very similar in the mix to Billie herself. She's singing the mid line of the harmony. And then the highest harmony is this lovely brunette woman in red. She's singing the higher harmony the whole time. And so there was a section there where we kind of heard that it was like...
So well, but every time you touch me, I just...
Can you hear this somewhere? Every time you touch me. There's someone doubling her vocal line. And it's a little bit breathier, and that's the middle.
Wonder how she felt Valentine's Day, crying in the hotel. I know you didn't mean to hurt me, so I kept it to myself. You say no one knows you so well, but every time you touch...
Oh, this is just so beautiful. So when we're talking about singing together in harmony, we need to think about matching our sounds. And obviously it's a lot to do with the audition process, that you just find singers who also match your sound, match your kind of feel. But it is also about matching the vowels as a backing vocalist to fit the lead singer. So that's something that you do need to talk about, I'm assuming Phineas, because he's the producer of the track, that's something that they address, of like how you say the words. Often it's about matching the mouth shapes of the lead singer. And you notice that no one's really over-opening the mouth or anything like that. They're doing it quite like Billie, that she's not really opening her mouth until she's going into more of that whoa. And then when she's ooh, whatever she was doing with those high notes. And the reason why she needs to open her mouth more in that chest voice register is because we want more of the trumpet shape in order to make it more of a chest voice sound. And then when we get into that high head voice register, in order to make it not sound too classical, which it would do if we were ooh, we're changing the vowel so that it doesn't quite sound so woo when we're going up there. And also it just makes the sound a little bit quieter rather than kind of, and making it more of an ornamentation rather than making it kind of like the main present part of the vocal line. Oh, I'm gonna watch that again. That's going on my playlist. Let me know down in the comments what your favorite part of that performance was, because I have to admit, for me, it's really about the vocals. Like I would love to see this like as a total a cappella version, or like the Pentatonics doing a version of the song, because it's absolutely fantastic and I'm loving this build. But I'd love to see what your favorite part was. If you've enjoyed this video, then hit that subscribe button. Honestly, it really does help me. I have a full-time job. I'm a full-time singing teacher Monday to Friday, and it really does help me so that I can carve out more time in my working week to help more people like yourself with their singing technique. And I really, honestly, I love hanging out here with you all on YouTube. This is definitely a highlight of my week. If you enjoyed Billie Eilish, check out the video up here. But other than that, I'll see you around here next time. Happy singing. And just remember, anyone can learn to sing. I want to see you singing. Have an awesome rest of your day. Ka kite anō.